To meet their psychological needs, to restore a moral identity, offenders have several strategies at their disposal. These strategies may be more or less constructive, and they may or may not promote the resolution of the conflict. Let us start with the less constructive strategies, those that may amplify rather than reduce the conflict. There are two kinds of destructive strategies, and you should already be familiar with them. On the one hand, we have avoidance strategies, and on the other hand, we have escalation strategies. In concrete terms, avoidance by offenders includes tactics such as minimizing the facts, attempting to justify, denying, or simply ignoring the transgression. Escalation, on the other hand, takes the form of counter-complaints or counterattacks. All of these strategies are considered destructive because although they sometimes effectively restore the offender's psychological need for morality, especially if avoidance was used, they risk greatly increasing the need for assertiveness on the part of the victims, because these will not feel recognized for what they have experienced and for the difficulties they are experiencing, and they might fear new transgressions. Alongside these destructive strategies, there are also more constructive strategies, those that will allow psychological needs to be met without negatively affecting the victims. For example, positive self-image can be restored by deploying pro-social, helpful, and open-minded behaviors. In addition to these strategies that specifically aim at satisfying their own needs, offenders can also implement behaviors that will serve to meet not their own needs, but the needs of assertiveness and control of their victims. These behaviors include, for example, acknowledging the transgression, showing respect to the victim, and, of course, apologizing for the harm done. This last strategy, the apology, is the most powerful strategy available to offenders to initiate de-escalation of the conflict. Apologies, when sincere and complete, are effective in reducing the victim's anger and preventing future retaliation behavior. Apologies to victims, as effective as they are in managing conflict, are not that easy to implement. In addition to the fact that some people have a natural propensity to apologize more easily than others, there are also several important barriers to apologizing. First, offenders will only be willing to apologize if they are convinced that the apology will serve a purpose and will actually be accepted by the victims. Second, offenders will apologize if they understand that the apology will promote a positive self-image rather than damage it further. Indeed, people often mistakenly believe that acknowledging their wrongdoing will damage rather than improve their image. And this new threat to their moral identity is what prevents them from engaging in the apology process. Finally, offenders will also find it difficult to apologize if they feel that they themselves have been the victims of transgressions by the other party. Conflict situations are indeed complex and involve parties who have both committed and suffered transgressions. We will come back to this problem later in the course.